Hello friends, welcome to my kitchen. Start with 2 pounds or 900 grams of ground beef in a large mixing bowl. Crack 2 eggs into the bowl. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika. Grate 1 onion. Friends, please write in the comments, what country and city are you from? It's very nice to know that we can communicate all over the world. Add it to the bowl. Finally, chop a bunch of parsley. If you have any questions about the recipe, write to me and I will answer as soon as I see it in the comments. Add it to the bowl for a fresh herby flavor. Mix everything thoroughly until the ingredients are well combined. Mixing by hand helps ensure that the flavors are evenly distributed. Place 5 medium potatoes cut into large pieces in a pot. Fill the pot with water. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. Cover the pot with a lid. Cook the potatoes over medium heat for 30-40 minutes. Spread the ground beef mixture over the top of the parchment paper, forming it into a large square. Friends, I'd be happy if you could give this video a like, as it's the best reward from you. In a frying pan, melt half a stick or 60 grams of butter over medium heat. Friends, if you enjoy my content, subscribe to the channel to receive notifications about new similar recipes. Grate 2 cloves of garlic on a mini grater. Sauté them in the butter until fragrant. Dice 2 carrots into small cubes. them to the pan. Stir gently to coat the carrots in the buttery garlic mixture. Next, dice 1 red bell pepper into small cubes. Add them to the pan. Next, dice 1 yellow bell pepper into small cubes. Add them to the pan as well. Sauté everything until the vegetables are tender and vibrant. When cooked, remove the pan from the heat and set it aside. Now, layer the filling. Start by spreading the sautéed vegetables evenly over the beef. Heat a drizzle of olive oil in a frying pan. Finely chop 7 ounces or 200 grams of mushrooms. them to the pan. Cook until golden and soft. Add the mushrooms to the square of beef, spreading them evenly over the vegetables. Finally, grate 5 ounces or 150 grams of Emmental cheese. Sprinkle it generously over the filling. This will melt nicely and hold everything together. Carefully use the parchment paper to help roll the beef into a log. Take your time to make sure it's tight and even. To make the marinade in a small bowl, combine 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of grain Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of honey. Mix it well. Brush the beef roll generously with the marinade, making sure to coat all sides. Wrap the roll in foil. Bake in a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 180 degrees Celsius, for 1 hour. Check that the potatoes are done by piercing them with a knife. Mash the potatoes until smooth and creamy. Finely chop a bunch of green onions. Add them to the mashed potatoes. Now, finely chop 1 clove of garlic. Add it to the mashed potatoes. Grate 60 grams of Parmesan cheese. Add it to the mashed potatoes. Then add 2 tablespoons of Philadelphia cream cheese, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Mix everything thoroughly. Ten minutes before the roll is ready, take it out. Carefully open the foil. Brush the remaining marinade over the roll. Then return it to the oven uncovered for another 10 minutes. Place 1 or 2 slices of the beef roll on a plate and 2 or 3 spoons of the creamy mashed potatoes next to the roll. And there it is, your ground beef roll with mashed potatoes. The flavors are rich, the presentation is stunning, and it's a meal that will bring everyone to the table. I hope this recipe becomes as much a favorite in your home as it is in mine. Thank you for cooking with me today. But that's not all. I have a second equally delicious recipe for you. First, let's take a saucepan and pour in enough water. Gently place 5 eggs into the water and add a little pinch of salt. Cover the saucepan with a lid and bring the water to a boil. This will take about 8 to 10 minutes. Next, take a large bowl and add 2 pounds or 900 grams of ground beef. Crack in 2 eggs. Then season it with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. To give the meatloaf a bit of texture, add 2 ounces or 60 grams of breadcrumbs. Next, grate 1 onion. Add it to the bowl. Now grate 2 cloves of garlic. The garlic will give the meatloaf a wonderful aroma. Add them to the bowl. Finely chop a bunch of fresh parsley. Add it to the mixture. Parsley adds a lovely freshness that balances the rich flavors of the beef. Now, mix everything together very well. It's important that all the ingredients are thoroughly combined, so every slice is full of flavor. Once that's done, take a baking sheet lined with foil. Then, place a sheet of parchment paper on top. Spread the meat mixture onto the parchment paper, shaping it into a large rectangle. We're going to roll this up later, so make sure it's evenly spread out. By now, the eggs should be ready. Carefully drain the hot water and cool the eggs under cold running water. Once they're cool enough to handle, peel them. Then place the peeled eggs in a row across the middle of the meat rectangle. Now, in a frying pan, melt half a stick or 60 grams of butter over medium heat. Finally, chop 1 carrot. If you have any questions about the recipe, write to me and I will answer as soon as I see it in the comments. add it to the pan. Let it cook until it starts to soften. Then chop 1 red bell pepper. And chop 1 yellow bell pepper. Add them to the pan with the carrot. Season with 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Stir everything together and let the vegetables cook for a few more minutes until they're tender. Once they're ready, remove the pan from the heat. Now add the cooked vegetables to the meatloaf. Place them carefully over the eggs, spreading them evenly. It's time to roll up our meatloaf. Start from one side and gently roll it over, tucking in the filling as you go. Use the parchment paper to help you roll it tightly. When the meatloaf is rolled up, wrap it in the foil, making sure it's well sealed. Place it in a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius and bake for 1 hour. While our meatloaf is baking, let's prepare the potatoes. Take 4 to 5 potatoes and cut them into small cubes, just like you see in the video. Place them in a saucepan. Cover them with water and bring them to a boil. Cook the potatoes for about 10 minutes. They should be slightly tender, but not fully cooked. While the potatoes are boiling, let's get our frying pan ready again. Melt half a stick or 60 grams of butter over medium heat. Chop one white onion. Fry the onion until it becomes soft and golden. Then, chop 8 mushrooms into small pieces. Add them to the pan with the onion. Cook them together for about 5 minutes until the mushrooms release their juices and begin to brown. Once the potatoes are done, drain the water and add them to the pan with the onions and mushrooms. Now, chop 2 cloves of garlic. Add them to the potatoes. Season with 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. Then give everything a good stir. To finish, finely chop a bunch of green onions. Add them to the pan. Stir everything together once more. And remove from the heat. The potatoes should be golden and full of flavor. Now let's make a simple glaze for the meatloaf. In a small bowl, combine 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of grain mustard, 1 tablespoon of red paprika, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of grape vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of honey. Stir it all together until it's smooth and well mixed. After the meatloaf has baked for an hour, take it out of the oven. Carefully open the foil. And spread the glaze over the top and sides of the meatloaf. Then put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. This will give it a beautiful, shiny finish and add a little extra flavor. Once the meatloaf is done, let it rest for a few minutes before slicing. When you cut into it, you'll see the beautiful layers of eggs, meat, and colorful vegetables. It looks absolutely delicious. Place 2 slices on a plate. Add a generous portion of the potatoes with mushrooms and onions. Now it's time to taste. The meatloaf is juicy, the potatoes are crispy, and the whole dish is just bursting with flavor. I hope you enjoy this recipe as much as I do. It's a wonderful dish for a family meal, and I'm sure it will become a favorite in your home. And now let me show you my third beef recipe for today. Start with 2 pounds or 900 grams of ground turkey in a large bowl. Break in 2 fresh eggs. Sprinkle in 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika for a gentle warmth. Next, take 1 onion and grate it finely. This not only adds flavor, but keeps the turkey moist. Add it to the bowl. Now, finely chop a fresh bunch of parsley. The parsley brings a beautiful freshness to the mix. Add it in. And using your hands, mix everything thoroughly. Finally, sprinkle in 60 grams or 2 ounces of breadcrumbs to bind the mixture. Combine well. Set aside while we prepare the rest of our ingredients. Now, take 5 medium-sized potatoes, place them in a pot, and pour in enough water to cover them. Add 1 teaspoon of salt and cook on medium heat for 30-40 minutes until the potatoes are soft. While the potatoes cook, let's assemble our roll. Place a sheet of parchment paper on your counter. And spread the turkey mixture onto it, shaping it into a neat rectangle. Friends, I'd be happy if you could give this video a like, as it's the best reward from you. Melt a small piece of butter, about a quarter stick or 30 grams, in a frying pan. Grate 2 cloves of garlic using a mini grater. Fry until fragrant. Now, finely chop 5 ounces, or 150 grams of spinach. Sauté it with the garlic until tender. Spread the spinach evenly over the turkey. In the same pan, add a drizzle of olive oil. Next, finely chop 7 mushrooms. Fry them for 5-7 minutes until golden and slightly crisp. Layer the mushrooms on top of the spinach. Then grate 5 ounces or 150 grams of Emmental cheese. Sprinkle it generously over the top. Carefully roll the meat into a log, keeping everything inside. Don't worry if it's not perfect. The flavors will speak for themselves. Now let's make a quick marinade. In a small bowl, mix 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of grainy Dijon mustard, and 2 tablespoons of honey. This glaze is a perfect balance of sweet and savory. Wrap the roll in foil. Brush it generously with the marinade. Seal it tightly. Place it on a baking tray and put it into a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. While the roll bakes, check on the potatoes. You'll know they're ready when a knife slides in easily. Drain the water. Add a 1/4 stick or 30 grams of butter. Grate 2 cloves of garlic. Add 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. Grate 1 ounce or 30 grams of Parmesan cheese for richness. Also, add it to the potatoes. Chop a bunch of green onions finely. Mash potatoes, mixing all ingredients together. add half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper. Stir everything together until it's smooth and fluffy. After 50 minutes in the oven, remove the turkey roll, unwrap the foil, and brush it with the remaining marinade. Put it back in the oven. Uncovered for another 10 minutes to achieve a beautiful caramelized glaze. Once done, slice the roll into thick, juicy pieces. Serve it alongside a generous scoop of mashed potatoes. Add a few cherry tomatoes for color. There you have it, a wholesome, comforting dish that's packed with flavor. The turkey is tender, the filling is rich and satisfying, and the mashed potatoes are creamy and irresistible. I hope this recipe brings as much joy to your family as it does to mine. Thank you for cooking with me today.